Hi, I'm Avery Davidson. Thank you for joining us for This Week in Louisiana Agriculture. This week, my guest host, the tallest member of the TWILA team, makes me feel the shortest, Carl Wiggers.
Maybe. Josh may have me by an inch. I don't know. Who knows?
It's the Cubs hat. That's what makes him look taller. Well, as we record this, Tropical Storm Bertha is just off of Louisiana's coast.
State climatologist Jay Grimes says impacts to Louisiana will be minimal. By the time this airs, Bertha will have followed the coast west into Texas, but its future depends on how much it stays over land versus water. It has the potential to strengthen before moving over the Sabine River.
Flooding risks for southeast Louisiana were at less than 5%, according to Grimes. He believes the I-10 corridor won't see more than an inch of rain for the rest of the week.
Well, the cost to make a loaf of bread may be going up. A bushel of wheat is now trading at more than $7 a bushel, and like a good loaf of bread before you bake it, it's still rising.
Hey, that's a good analogy. In this case, the yeast making it rise is the continued conflict in Ukraine. A former Louisiana congressman recently traveled to Kyiv and saw firsthand how the war with Russia there is affecting agriculture here. This photograph of a building on fire is one Congressman Dr. Charles Bustani took from his hotel room when he was in Kyiv, the capital of Ukraine, on May 25th of this year. He shared the experience with journalists at the Baton Rouge Press Club, saying the bombing started at about 1 o'clock in the morning.
It was so intense. It was all around us, maybe 150 yards away in the square. Loud explosions. The building I was in, it was only 6 or 7 stories. It was shaking. The glass was rattling.
Bustani says he had to drive into Kyiv from Romania and saw firsthand the acres of wheat that make Ukraine the breadbasket of Europe.
They've done a remarkable job in continuing production, but it's lower than it used to be. And then the Black Sea is the critical exit point for exporting grain all over the world. And if that's shut down, and we saw this early in that war, where grain prices worldwide shot up, and it became a critical problem until the Turkish government came in and brokered a deal about shipping in the Black Sea, and it calmed down. But I'm afraid right now, with the escalation that's starting up, we're starting to see more attacks on vessels in the Black Sea, and that's going to be problematic.
Well, when Russia invaded Ukraine initially in 2022, the wheat market spiked to over $12 a bushel.
Michael DiLiberto is an economist at the LSU AgCenter. He says wheat prices dropped to pre-war levels of about $6 a bushel after the initial war spike in 2022. However, they are again rising quickly due to the attacks Bustani mentioned.
With Ukraine carrying out attacks in the Azov Sea region on Russian ships, that prompted Russia to shut down their wheat movements through the Kerch Strait, which is an important waterway for them because it allows them to move their wheat down to the Black Sea and let it reach their deep water ports.
While wheat prices alone likely will not lead to an increase in grocery prices, DiLiberto says the increased costs for fuel and transportation due to the conflicts in Ukraine and Iran are likely a greater influence on what you pay for food.
Cotton growers are feeling the squeeze from rising input costs as they prepare for the next crop. A report from cottongrower.com says fertilizer and diesel prices surged during the spring planting season, driven by global supply disruptions and higher energy costs. Many producers were also forced to delay buying fertilizer because of tight finances and late operating loans, leaving them to purchase inputs after prices had already climbed. While cotton prices improved later in the spring, the gains were only enough to offset some of the sharp increases in production costs, leaving many growers facing another challenging year.
A bill aimed at keeping hazardous imports out of the United States has passed the House of Representatives. Louisiana Congressmen Clay Higgins and Troy Carter introduced the bill in April of last year. The bipartisan Destruction of Hazardous Imports Act would give the Food and Drug Administration the authority to destroy imported food and other products that pose significant health risks, rather than simply turning them away at one port, which could allow them to be shipped to another port. Supporters say the bill closes a long-standing loophole that has allowed contaminated seafood and other dangerous imports to reach the U.S. markets. The measure, which was originally introduced to address seafood imports, now applies more broadly to hazardous foreign products. The bill now moves to the Senate for consideration. Rice farming is a tough business these days, with input prices climbing, market prices depressed, but farmers are still bringing out the crop crucial to Louisiana's culture and cuisine.
In Acadia Parish, we meet one farmer leaning into the challenge and his business partner who's leading the way. Every pass through this Acadia Parish rice field brings Jared Fry closer to the end of his 48th harvest.
Our yields are good, but we're harvesting in the low 50s, high 40s and low 50s, and we think we're going to get into a healthy second crop, which is so important. We have to have that second crop to cash flow today. The numbers are there, we just don't have the price.
Fry says GX2 Farms is about 60 to 70% through its first crop. Wind and several days of rain cost him some rice, but the crop has generally performed well. Profitability has not.
We're selling rice for the same price as we were 48 years ago. But our fertilizer prices, we were paying $100 to $125 a ton. Now we're paying $500, $600, $700, $800 a ton for fertilizer now.
Labor, land, repairs, and other inputs continue to climb. That is a squeeze for an established farm. For someone without land, equipment, or decades of built-up equity, it can be a wall.
If Jared hadn't offered me this opportunity, it'd be very tough to start on my own. And that's what just with everything in the economy right now, I wouldn't be able to do it. You know, if I didn't have somebody like him helping me and to get started.
Cormier has worked full-time with Fry for 6 years and became a partner this year. It is not a traditional father-to-son succession, but it is a handoff rooted in family and a lifetime around the farm. It started when Cormier's grandfather retired and Fry began farming some of the family's land.
Garrett sat on a picnic table by himself, away from the other kids. He wasn't playing. It's like he was depressed. And so we went up to him and said, Garrett, what's wrong? He said, Uncle Jared, are you going to let me farm with you? He was in grammar school. I'm going to say third or fourth, fifth grade maybe. And at that age, he was wanting to farm. That's what he wanted to do.
Cormier kept showing up, first riding along, then hauling rice, running equipment, and eventually helping manage the operation. For Fry, succession means more than adding a name to the partnership. It also means knowing when to step back.
Me that's stuck in my way, I have to give him his opening. You know, he has to create his own ideas, and he'll have to make mistakes, and like I did, and I still do, you know, but it's so rewarding to have a young man like that.
Cormier now carries the responsibility of a partner, a young family, and a farm economy with little margin for error. Even so, he says the farmers who survived hard times before him give him reason to believe this generation can do the same.
So you're talking about the 80s and all that, and that's what you hear from a lot of them old guys, and they came out of it. So, I mean, there's no reason why we can't come out of it. Everything's expensive, and we'll come out of it. We'll make it.
It's something that's bigger than money. It's the smell of the soil in the spring. It's the smell of the straw in the harvest season. It's just the way of life. It's what kind of life you have. You enjoy what you're doing. You know, 48 years, I never worked a day in my life because I love what I'm doing.
Now, Fry is working to make sure that way of life does not end with him. At the time we're recording this, Fry and Cormier are in the field trying to finish up the harvest as Bertha makes her way across the southern coast. We'll check back in with the rice farmers across the South next week to see how they made it through this weather. Louisiana's $2.4 billion seafood industry is facing tough competition from cheaper imports, but a new partnership is helping train the next generation to keep Gulf seafood on the menu. A report from WVUE-TV in New Orleans says Tulane Hospitality and the Audubon Nature Institute are teaching culinary students the value of sustainably harvested, locally sourced seafood. The program emphasizes responsible fishing practices, using as much of the catch as possible to reduce waste and help future chefs share the story behind Louisiana seafood. Supporters say choosing domestic Gulf seafood helps protect both the state's fisheries and its coastal economy. Louisiana is known for its variety of food and drink, but not really known for its wine. Now, thanks to the research at the Southern University AgCenter, that might be about to change. This week, TWILA's Neil Melanson tells us about a new project that's already getting some attention.
It looks like California, but it's not. This is a test vineyard that is producing grapes right on the banks of the Mississippi at Southern University. Researcher and grape grower Joshua Reason says their fifth harvest is underway right now.
From there until October, you're working on grapes. Your last harvest might be in October with the muscadines. But your hybrids, you have in July and August.
While they do have muscadines, the research is primarily focused on French and American cultivars of grapes that can survive the summer heat.
Like here we made a cross with a different cultivar and bagged it. So what we do is we'll collect the seeds and then we'll select it in the following years. And then it's a continuous process because new cultivar development is our ultimate aim. because we want to have more resources for our farmers to have.
While this test plot is only 1.5 acres, the research is growing.
We are actually using this information to expand our vineyard to another 7 acres right there in the back. So that will be a production block where we can use that for our enology research, producing experimental wines based on the grapes we produce here. And that way we can use it for demonstrating that, yes, this crop can be, how we can grow it, how we can produce it, and then how we can make a product out of it.
Researchers are hoping to grow grapes for the table and juice. Last year, though, they produced their own labeled wine, which Reason hopes to see across the state in the future.
Man, it's amazing. It's a great thing. It's beautiful to know that you can do this in Louisiana. And I hope that farmers see what we're doing and they want to try, because like I say, our goal is to eventually this could be a major crop in this state.
Of course, Louisiana is known for its muscadine grapes, but Southern University's AgCenter is trying to move beyond that into some truly groundbreaking grape growing research. Reporting from Southern University in Baton Rouge, I'm Neil Melanson.
If you'd like to try out Southern's own label, you can attend the Vino on the Bluff event Friday, October 2nd. The event is a fundraiser for its scholarship program. We'll give you more of the details on our website at twilatv.org. Still to come on TWILA, they can't sweat, and most of them can't fit in our houses to use the air conditioner. So, how are Louisiana farmers keeping livestock safe in the heat?
Plus, nuisance pigs. We'll show you what one parish did when a group of feral hogs started tearing up a local high school.
You're watching This Week in Louisiana Agriculture, the only TV show bringing Louisiana farmers and consumers together every week.
We're entering the part of summer where the feels-like temperature climbs over 110 degrees. That heat hits some animals harder than others.
Anyone with livestock can tell you, you have to do everything you can to protect your herds. TWILA's Josh Meeks put on his sunscreen to find out how to keep your animals cool.
So I'm here with my girl Wrigley because nobody's cooler than Wrigley. Rule number 1, if you want to be cool, reject all authority. Rule number 2 is, what? What? Oh, that makes more sense. 1 second. So Wrigley here spends about 99.9% of her time in air conditioning. When it's more than 100 degrees out here, we try to limit her time to just a few minutes. Not all animals on farms have that luxury. In July, the feels-like temperature in Vermilion Parish can climb up to nearly 120 degrees. For an animal that lives its life in a leather jacket, that can be pretty unbearable.
Y'all want some blueberries?
For Anna Von Callahan, keeping these animals cool is essentially a full-time job.
Just making sure that they have everything that they need: shade, water, adequate ventilation and circulation of the air, things like that. Also minerals, adjusting your feeding times, just kind of knowing what their specific needs are for each animal and trying to give them that to the best of your ability.
She has show cattle, beef cattle, goats, chickens, and cats. Each one of them has different needs in the heat. Different biologies mean different ways of staying cool.
Heat stress looks different in all the different livestock species that we work with or that we raise. So pigs, for example, lack the ability to sweat. They do not have sweat glands. They have a thick layer of subcutaneous fat that acts as an insulator. Chickens also do not have sweat glands. They have large amounts of feathers that also act as insulators.
Tyler Breaux with the LSU AgCenter School of Animal Sciences says the best thing you can do in the summer is keep the animals lazy when they're out in the sun. That way they're not burning calories and increasing that internal temperature.
It's important to practice good fly control during the summer months. Flies are just aggravating all the different pests and such, and any form of fly that is aggravating your cow is going to cause them to move around.
Callahan sprays her herd with insect repellent to keep their tails from swishing. She also puts out minerals for them to replace what they're losing from drinking more water than usual. Their diets also get tweaked because too much protein can be detrimental in this heat.
You're going to want to feed early in the morning or late at night.
The most important thing is to pay attention to your animals. They'll let you know when it's too hot.
I think maybe something that's easier or maybe a little bit quicker to pick up on is that we start to see these animals congregating in areas of shade, or we see them congregating near a water source.
Reporting from Vermilion Parish for This Week in Louisiana Agriculture, I'm Josh Meeks.
Now, your cats and dogs are not much different. They also require plenty of water and shade. Veterinarians advise that you do not leave your pets out in the sun for more than a few minutes at a time. From the animals we love to the animals we don't really love, kind of hate, that are a real pain, feral hogs are a growing issue across the state. They destroy fields, ruin crops, and can severely hurt you if you're not careful.
Caddo Parish Animal Control Services recently trapped 20 hogs that had been terrorizing Green Oaks High School and shared how they were able to do it safely and humanely.
We received a call from some citizens about 2 weeks ago. These particular feral hogs are actually on Green Oaks, which is a school. They were crossing the football field. So for safety for the children, we reacted quick. We counted at least 20 in the sounder. So this right here will be 19, so there's a straggler. Throughout the parish, since we started with this Game Changer Pro, we're over 70 hogs in Caddo Parish. We've caught some in Mooringsport, we've caught some in Keithville. Hearn Avenue was one of the biggest safety threats because it was a group of Russian boar that was actually causing a traffic threat right there on the edge of the road. So it's all about removing the threat of safety. We will take these to the processing plant, Bellevue's, and we actually donate the meat, and so that'll feed the homeless for at least a year. So we're trying to make a full circle. This is actually a function of Louisiana Wildlife and Fisheries, but they're so full with the amount of hogs in the state of Louisiana. So we took it upon ourselves, and we was trusted by our higher ups to take this task on. We trained ourselves on it, got familiar with it. We stay in touch with the technicians of the trap. We also send our reports to LDAS, so that way they know exactly what we're catching and the location. And so I just want to inform everyone else, if you have a feral hog issue, do not approach them. They're very dangerous. Call us and we'll make sure that we get out and assess the situation and make it happen.
There are an estimated 700 to 900,000 feral hogs across Louisiana, and they cause roughly $90 million in agricultural and wetland damage each year. Still to come on TWILA, breaking news. Shattered bottles can help save Louisiana's forests and coasts.
Whoa, dude, puns are my department. Thanks for filling in, but the TWILA Boost is next. Stay with us.
I'm not a chef, I'm not a cook. I'm somewhere between. I'm a self-proclaimed shook. And we like to say, ça c'est bon. I'm Uncle Larry Roussel. I'm from Hester, Louisiana, and you may know me for my stew and a few, a ready-set gumbo, or maybe my seasoning. And if you don't know me yet, you can know me with my brown sugar dry rub.
So you rub that onto like a roast or a chicken or
baby back ribs.
Baby back ribs.
Right,
you rub that on and then you go ahead and bake it.
Well, that's right.
Yes.
That's right.
We're in St. James Parish with Uncle Larry and the fabulous creator of Stew and a Few and other products. He's got a special rub, he's got spices, he's got an okra gumbo mix, so many things, and Uncle Larry is preparing lunch here for us and a few of our very good friends.
So when I retired, I started, okay? And I knew I had products, and one of them was my seasoning. Whenever I came out with this, yeah, trust me, nothing was happening. But when I came out with Stew and a Few, it was off to an instant great start. Stew and a Few is the most versatile product you can ever see on the market, okay? You can do a sausage, you can do potato stew, lima beans, hamburger steak, oyster spaghetti, red beans in an Instant Pot. You can do so many things with Stew and a Few.
You take a nice roast, a beef roast,
yep,
and you put this in there and you bake that for about 2.5 hours at about 350. It just doesn't get any better. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's incredible. Look, even somebody like me can cook something very good when you start off with the Stew and a Few. The first thing you know when Uncle Larry's cooking, when you walk in, you can smell it. I mean, you can smell that gumbo, you can smell, that part, that Cajun spice. You can taste St. James Parish, you can taste, a part of what it is to be Cajun.
I'm gonna tell you, Commissioner, whenever you and the governor went on that listening tour,
yes,
your coordinator said, hey, we're gonna stop at your camp, we're gonna bring a catering feeder. He said, if y'all doing it at my camp, I'm bringing my cook.
It's bringing Uncle Larry.
And that's when I met, you told me, you said, I highly encourage you to become certified. But your certified program is the best business decision
Oh,
I
it's
ever
huge.
made.
And now we have more than 500 companies
500.
are certified, right? And so what I tell people, when you go to that local section of your grocery store, you go to the grocery store, you look for that certified label and guarantee you, right?
That's exactly
My
right.
name's on there too, so I guarantee you
It's gonna be good.
That is good stuff.
I'm so happy to be certified because I'm gonna tell you, I make a lot of bad business decisions, all right? A lot of bad ones. But this was one of the best business decisions I ever did.
If you are producing any type of product here in Louisiana and you want to market it anywhere in the world, you need to be a part of the family of Certified Louisiana products. Certified Louisiana, Certified Cajun, Certified Creole, Certified Farm to Table, and Certified Louisiana Craft Beverages. And as we say, look for the seal because it's the real deal.
Look, it's a great thing to have. It's a great logo to put on your product. Two of the most important things that first, certify the veterans and then put my picture.
In just a very short period of time, you can cook a wonderful meal at home for your family with just a little help from our good friend Uncle Larry.
It's time now for this week's TWILA Boost, and what started with one empty wine bottle has grown into one of Louisiana's unique recycling success stories.
In 2020, two Tulane University students realized New Orleans had no way to recycle glass. So they started collecting bottles in a backyard and crushing them by hand. Today, that small idea has grown into Glass Half Full, Louisiana's largest glass recycling operation.
When glass came up, we thought about how we could figure out what to do with glass.
It was kind of that aha moment, that light bulb moment where we could solve multiple problems with one common solution, and we said, let's try it.
And that's when we found the machine that could turn glass into sand. We were like, that's something we could buy, that feels tangible, something we could actually do.
At the New Orleans facility, bottles from homes, restaurants, and businesses are sorted, cleaned, and crushed into recycled glass, sand, and gravel, all processed right here in Louisiana.
Growing up in South Louisiana, you always hear about our coastal erosion crisis. And so when we realized we could turn glass back into sand, we knew that we wanted to be able to fight this huge issue and try to be like one part of that solution.
Those recycled materials are finding new life in everything from new glass products to disaster relief efforts and coastal restoration projects aimed at protecting Louisiana's disappearing shoreline.
Along this shoreline, we brought out 75 tons of recycled glass sand, which is about 150,000 pounds of sand, which is 300,000 beer bottles, all out here on the shores to help naturalize it and turn it back into the natural ecosystem here. When we place our sand and plant native grasses, after that, pretty much nature takes over.
It's a reminder that sometimes the smallest ideas can make a lasting impact, turning yesterday's bottles into tomorrow's resources and helping protect the state we call home. Well, that does it for this edition of TWILA. Be sure to join us next week when we'll bring you to Jackson Parish, where one woman is making her own beef tallow.
Until then, you can watch all of our stories online at twilatv.org, and be sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on TikTok and Instagram. You can also find all of these stories and more on our YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe and turn on the notifications so that you know when we put out new content.
For all of us here at TWILA, especially Carl, hosting this week, thanks for joining us. We hope to see you again right here next week.